and getting postcards from her in the mail from all over the place, and which I still have.
I remember helping to build the beach trail and running all the way from the beach to the house to get more water for Dad when we ran out and we were so thirsty.
I remember driving home from camping on the Oregon coast where we rolled down the sand dunes into a lake. And Alicia Zori fell into the jump room pit at Cannon Beach. Remember the guy took his big hook?
It's a disaster.
I remember Mom and Dad had an adult party. And I remember we were not exactly invited, but we were around. Somehow that worked out.
I thought we put you all in closets.
The women were discussing the fact that someone had not shown up because she had nothing to wear. Well, I remember Mom exclaiming, "Let's see what we can do." It wasn't long before they all reappeared, dressed in various fabrics, tied this way and that, probably a sheet or two, plenty of earrings and beads, and even I could see they were definitely very flashy girls.
I remember cowboys and Indian wars staged on opposite sides of the Duncansons' road, tossing mud and rocks at each other.
I remember the smell and haze of cigarette smoke throughout the house on bridge night.
I remember piano lessons. Miss Elwell would come early in the morning and stay until late in the evening and teach all of us and half the neighborhood kids. Kids would leave school, run or ride their bike to our house, take their lesson, then run or ride back to school. We'd have to be quiet all day and eat dinner in the living room.
Diane remembers the start of any travel required Dad sweeping the carport while everyone else was restlessly packed in the car. Over the years, it became so ingrained that it served as a reminder for a last check that everything was closed up and locked before the ignition key could be turned.
We were just discussing that the other day.
Where's Dad? Speaking of cardboard.
I remember Dad eating toasted graham crackers with butter on it, and the strange smell it would leave in the house.
Yeah, they melted and went down in the toast.
I remember the song of the two-lane roads leading us to adventure throughout the West. Exotic sounding places like Rapid City, South Dakota, Roundup, Montana, Lone Pine, California, Bend, Oregon, Fargo, North Dakota, Butte, Montana, Reno, Nevada.
I remember being chicken to jump off the highest cliff at Deep Lake. Dad and Pam were doing swan dives. I think Dan and Doug finally went off too. Pam did a backflip, and Vicki and I shuffled back along the dusty trail to the lower cliffs, muttering that she was crazy to try that.
I remember racing our bikes to the pool, no hands all the way, leaning to make the curves and turns, and declaring ourselves great when we could make it back up home again, no-handed on our fat, tired, one-speed bicycles.
That was hard.
Yeah, it was hard. Yeah.
I remember we were always encouraged to go outdoors, and we were joined by our parents when their tasks were done. Mom used to lead us down the hill behind the house, down the meandering, endless trail, to the flat below, where we would wander about, picking the tiny, native blackberries all afternoon.
I remember the dinner table. Gushy food, usually started by Byard. Mom protesting Dad's arrival at dinner without a shirt by taking off hers. And Free Manners Day when Mom joined in by throwing a potato over and knocking over the milk pitcher.
That's funny.
Same idea.
How about the dart practice against the dining room door?
Yeah.
I remember, again, family road trips with 6 kids and 2 dogs, and Dad's homemade wooden storage box on the roof of the station wagon. In it were 8 suitcases, sleeping bags, air mattresses. If we popped ours, we were without for the rest of the summer. The ice chest, water jug, and dog food, so there was room in the car for the rest of us.
That's right. Everything was up there, including the ice chest was heavy. I had to strap down individually. I had a deal for that.
And no air conditioning.
Can you imagine going through, coming back from St. Paul and going westward, before you get to Yellowstone, the hottest stretch on earth before they put the dam in. Just, we pour water over each other.
Oh, wow. Diane remembers the day we